Alright, we are back with some Hunter cards today. And let's get straight into them. We have the Darkmoon Tonk. 7 cost, 8/5 mech with Death Rattle, fire 4 missiles at random enemies that deal 2 damage each. This card isn't necessarily bad. I honestly just think the battle cry is a little weak. Like, the body itself that it possesses is pretty darn good for 7. But it's just the death rattle just seems a little underwhelming for honestly what it should maybe be. But I think overall it's relatively fine card. Very useful for like death rattle decks especially. You can trigger that death rattle without it dying, because then you get more of that death rattle, which makes it a lot more worth it. So I think the card overall is going to be a 7 out of 10. Type of decks you'll see it in is probably like a Death Rattle Hunter. I think you can push for that kind of thing. Don't feed the animals. 2 cost spell. Give all beasts in your hand +1/+1. If you corrupt it, you give them +2/+2 instead. I think this is meant to be a relatively aggressive card, because when you're using aggressive stuff, most of the time you're going to have a lot of your stuff at the beginning of the game. So this being 2, it's very easy to corrupt and then able to give a very big buff at the beginning. But it might not be the best in, like, for example, Face Hunter. It might not be amazing. But it has an option of that. Otherwise, it would probably go into, like, a beast deck that's very reliant on beast, very beast heavy, and always has a lot of stuff in their hands. So maybe like a control beast type deck, which would be kind of strange and oddly specific. Anyway, I'm going to give the card a 6 out of 10. Type of deck you'll see it in is probably maybe an aggro one, I'm thinking. And then, or like a very heavy beast deck. We have Petting Zoo. 3 cost spell. You summon a 3/3 Strider. Repeat for each secret you control. I've seen that this would be very good for a secret deck, which obviously makes a lot of sense. So would it be a very heavy secret deck? Maybe. Honestly. It could very well be a most likely aggressive. Because getting your secrets out and then getting a bunch of Striders early is going to be a lot better than getting them later, because your opponent can't deal with them near the beginning. So an aggressive Secret Hunter is going to be a lot better. So I think the card is pretty good. It could honestly... sorry. It could maybe also see play in Highlander Hunter as well, honestly. Because it's a decent value card as well. Just run one of these and you still get a good amount of value out of it. Because in Highlander Hunter, if I remember correctly, they have a decent amount of secrets in there. So this could honestly work out decently well in Highlander Hunter as well. So I'm honestly going to give this card an 8 out of 10. Actually, 9 out of 10. It's very good. 9 out of 10. And I think it could be like some kind of aggressive Secret Hunter, or it could go into Highlander Hunter. The Jewel of Nzoth. 8 cost spell. Ugh. Shouldn't have had chips before this. Now I'm like choking on them. Summon 3 friendly Death Rattle minions that died this game. Honestly, not bad, but probably not good enough to really do too much, I think. It's great for a Death Rattle deck, don't get me wrong, but I just think Death Rattle isn't really a thing Hunter does too much right now. You got the Tonk, which you just saw. You have this. You have that one other Death Rattle lady that we'll look at in a second. But this one, I mean, it's a good amount of value, but just Hunter doesn't do, I don't think, too much with Death Rattle right now. But if it does, it'll go into obviously a Death Rattle Hunter. So I'm still gonna give this card a 7 out of 10 because I think it's very good, as well a lot of value. So then, type of deck you'll see it in is really only a Death Rattle deck, and that would be about it. I don't think it works for Highlander Hunter. Dancing Cobra. 2 cost 1/1. 1/1. 2 cost 1/5 beast. Corrupt, gains poisonous. Very easy to corrupt. And a 2 cost 1/5 with poisonous honestly isn't that bad. I kind of like the card. I think it's relatively decent. Corrupt cards are always terrible to top deck, though, especially. So it's like you almost have to constantly keep stuff in your hand so you have options to corrupt stuff when you draw it. So it's just, corrupt is a weird mechanic, but it works well, and I think in this case it works pretty darn well, to be honest. I'm going to give the card a 6 out of 10. Type of deck you'll see it in could find its way into Highlander Hunter, maybe. It's not going to be in any aggressive deck. It would be more like a control deck. So, sadly, I don't think it's really going to be around much. Really only possibly Highlander Hunter, but honestly, probably not. I don't even think Emperor Cobra's in that deck, so it probably won't be in Highlander Hunter. So you probably won't see this around. Mystery Winner. 1 cost 1/1 Battlecry. You discover a secret. A lot of secret stuff for Hunter, and I love it. Secret Hunter stuff is super fun. Works really well. I just love playing with secrets with Hunter. I really do. So, Secret Hunter would love this. Any kind of Secret Hunter. Whether that be aggressive, maybe a control. Well, generally, Secret Hunters are always pretty darn aggressive. So you will very well see this in an aggressive Secret Hunter. So I'm going to give this card an 8 out of 10. Type of deck you'll see it in is any kind of secret deck. Anything with secrets you'll see it in. So Secret Hunter, possibly Highlander would use this. Maybe not though. Especially if the Highlander deck is focusing very much on secrets, this can work very well in it. We have Open the Cages. 2 cost secret. When your turn starts, if you control 2 minions, you summon an animal companion. Another very good card for specifically an aggressive Secret Hunter. Because when you're doing an aggressive Secret Hunter, you're generally playing stuff really fast, so it's very easy to have a lot of stuff on your board early, which gives you that animal companion very quickly. And then that amount of value. You might also run Open the Cages and also just Animal Companion, but most likely you'll probably just do Open the Cages in the aggressive Secret Hunter. Because you care more about the secrets than mostly anything else. So I think this card is very much going to find its place there. And I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. And you'll see it in an aggressive Secret Hunter. Trampoline Rhino. 5 cost 5/5 with Rush. And it's a beast. After this attacks a minion and kills a minion, excess damage hits the enemy hero. I was comparing this to Knuckles, and honestly, Knuckles is a lot better than this. Because of this one only doing excess damage. Instead of doing the same amount no matter what. Because Knuckles was, whether you killed it or not, it didn't matter. If you hit a minion, it also hit face, which is just way better than this Rhino. It can help out with dealing damage to face quickly and early, because if there's small minions on the board, you can kill them and do a lot to face still. But it's not that great. I'd rather run Tundra Rhino because charge is super good in like an aggressive deck. This is not a good option for an aggressive deck because Tundra Rhino is just much better with giving charge. So I will give this card a 5 out of 10, and you probably won't see this around. Ringlings Rifle. 4 cost 2/2. Legendary weapon. After your hero attacks, you discover secret and cast it. Very good for any secret deck at all. And I think very good for Highlander Hunter as well. Just secrets are super nice. It doesn't matter what deck you're really running with Hunter. Secrets are stinking great. Great for Highlander and great for Secret Hunter. It doesn't seem like that aggressive a card, but if you're playing an aggressive Secret Hunter and you're getting secrets, it doesn't matter because those secrets are going to help you be more aggressive in that way. So I'm going to give this card an 8 out of 10. Type of decks: aggressive Secret Hunter, any Secret Hunter, and then probably the Highlander Hunter. Maxim Blastenheimer. 6 cost, 4/4 legendary. Battlecry, you summon a minion from your deck. It attacks the enemy hero and then dies. I'm not a fan of this card at all. I'm being completely honest. I'm not a fan of this card. This card kind of sucks. You get a very small minion that you're playing for 6, and then you're throwing a minion away. Yes, it's hitting face, but then you have to be playing an aggressive deck. Most likely this is going to be in a Death Rattle deck. So you can trigger something after it dies, but it's just like, I still don't think that's necessarily worth it. It's just, I'm not a fan of this card. I just think it's bad. It's just really bad. So I'm going to give this card a 3 out of 10, and you probably won't see this around. That's going to be it for the Hunter cards. Next time, I will talk about the Warrior cards. I'll see you then.